This is Tedeschi, Product Solution Evangelist, and today we're going to take a look at mass property overrides and non-graphical properties in Inventor 2010. Now, if you remember last week, we were working with this data that we downloaded from the vendor's website for this caster wheel assembly. Now, we utilized a multi-body workflow to turn this into a mechanism that would function in our top-level assembly. However, typically this type of approach yields an assembly or a component that has incorrect mass properties. So we're going to calculate the mass properties for the master level of detail here in the top level assembly. And you can see here that we have a calculated field of 47.168 pounds. Now this is inaccurate, as you know, and I know it's inaccurate because if we go to the caster wheel itself, this thing is made up of just a couple of parts, not the actual hierarchy that the real assembly has. So we'll go ahead and we'll calculate the mass properties for this subassembly, and we see we're looking at about 1.085 kilograms for the caster wheel assembly. Now if we go and take a look at the product sheet that we downloaded from Tente's site, we can see clearly that the weight of this caster wheel is only 0.4536 kilograms, so it's more than twice the weight that it actually has. So fear not, there is a way we can correct this. We're going to utilize what's referred to as a mass property override. So I'm just going to highlight this field and let's enter in 0.4536 kilograms. And you'll see that the calculator there in the middle changed over to a hand to indicate that this is now a hand entered or a manually entered value. So if we go back to the top level assembly now and we go back to our properties and go back to the physical tab, set our accuracy to high, and we'll hit update again for the master level of detail, and you see now our the weight dropped to 42.9 pounds, and the indicator is showing us that it's a combination of both calculated and hand entered data. Let's go ahead and close out of this. Now there's other uses for this type of data in Inventor assemblies, most notably to keep the bill of materials at a point where we can get accurate purchasing information out of our assemblies. Now this requires very little from us actually. So here is the caster wheel assembly in our bill of materials for the top level assembly. Now if we go ahead and open up the BOM structure, you can see that there's a purchased field available, but we're showing it as normal right now. Now it's okay, that's how it came from the vendor, but we could change it right here at the assembly, but that wouldn't do much for anyone down the road who wants to use this same caster wheel assembly again. So I'm going to go into the Tools Document Settings dialog box, and we'll go down to the Bill of Materials tab, and we're going to set the default BOM structure here to purchased. Now this means when I save this, that from this point forward, anytime anyone uses this, it's going to come up as a purchased Bill of Materials field in the top level assembly. Now there's some other fields that we can enter here in the properties. So let's go ahead over to the Project tab. And first and foremost, let's enter in the actual cost of our caster wheel. So this is approximately $12.75. So let's go ahead and enter that. And we can also enter in the stock number, the actual ordering stock number from the company that sells it, in this case Tente. So we'll go back to the product sheet, and we're literally just going to copy off of the product sheet the stock number itself. We'll go ahead and copy that. Let's go back into Inventor. And let's paste that value into the stock number field. We'll apply that. Let's close out of here, go back to the top level assembly, and let's go ahead and open our Bill of Materials dialog box. And when we scroll down to our caster wheel, you'll see that our BOM structure is now purchased and our stock number is correct. Now another nice thing about the Bill of Materials dialog box is the ability of taking lowercase data and actually formatting it, capitalizing it, because typically this type of data is always in uppercase. So now we can go ahead and save these changes, and with that change we're pretty much done for the day. So I want to thank you for your time, and we'll see you on the flip side.